What's up YouTube? DJ Eric here. Today I'm going to teach you how to properly set your levels in your DJ system so you have the best sound quality and that your amplifiers have the lowest noise when you're turning things up and you just plain have the best sound quality. First, let me show you the setup we're going to be using today. We have just a Windows 7 laptop running Virtual DJ, and that's being controlled by a HC4500 MIDI controller. And then that controller sound output runs into the DNX 500 mixing board, and then it just comes out of my little mixing rack into my Mackie PA board. I prefer this for microphones or whatever, and it's just easier to manage a big PA system with a board like this. And then out of our board here, we're coming down to this amp rack, and I have a limiter right here, which I'm going to show you how to use later to prevent clipping on your amplifier. And then we just have a QSC PLX3602 for the power amplification. Alright, let's go back up to the rack. I'm going to show you how to properly set your levels so you have the best sound quality possible. I just have that little SOS band on today. Let's just start this up. Basically what you're going to do, you got your channel strip here. You're going to turn up your channel strip until you hit about 0 or +1. That's about the ideal location there. And then you see your actual channel fader here. See how that 8 lines thick? That's indicating that's the ideal location on this particular board when you're mixing or playing audio or whatever. So we're going to put that at +8 right there. And then far as the master output that's going to that Mackie board, we're going to turn that to that thick line right there, because that's the ideal location. If you see, we're having about 0 or +1 on average on this light right here, which is where we want it. And if you look at the output, we're also at 0. That's how these things work. Now that we have the DJ mixing board set, let's get the PA board all set up correctly. Basically, I have this coming on to channel 5, so you hit the solo light here, and then you're going to look at these lights right here, because this shows you the levels. Let me turn this down a bit so you can hear me better. What you're going to do, on channel 5, there's a little gain control. You're going to turn that up until you hit it about 0 or a little bit above, like there or so. There would work. And then you're going to turn off the solo light on channel 5. And now that you've set the incoming gain level properly, you're going to move up channel 5 to the U mark, which is the ideal mark on this board, because it's the thickest, it's the unity gain. And then you're going to go to your master faders here, and see there's also a U. If you look, we also are at the 0, we're at the 0 light here now. We're at the 0 light over here, which is the ideal, and we're at 0 on the channel strip. Now that we have all these set up correctly, we're going to go down to our amplifier and limiter. If you looked at the limiter lights right here, we're flashing right in at 0. See, notice when you set it up properly, all the lights go at 0 because everything's aligned. Now what we're going to do, before we set our limiter, we're going to turn our amplifier up until we see clipping. Alright, just saw a little there. Alright, now when you see the clipping, back off 1 or 2 notches until you don't see clipping anymore. And then what you're going to do on your limiter, you're going to turn this up until you see a little red light, the limit light. Your goal is to get a little limit light, like that right there. Now basically, you can go to your PA board right here, and you can turn up the channel fader way high like that. You're way above where you should be, because somebody might bump it. And you can see that your amplifier is not clipping because your limiter is absorbing the excess. So that way you can ensure your amps will never clip and you won't damage your speakers with clipping sound or anything like that. Alright, that's about it. Well, YouTube, appreciate you watching. Practice and enjoy.